Well, good morning. We're doing this again. Yay! Welcome to Gatchamania 54. I'm going to talk about the Cleveland Browns, one of the most exciting off-season teams for the first time in a long time. Just a lot of excitement with them, and I think Mayfield has really helped with that. I keep bringing that up, and Watson also. But there's just a lot to cover with those two players. But I've already covered it, so we're not going to. So what I am going to cover is the defensive side of the ball and a couple of key players in the draft that I think could make an impact, and we're just going to see where this goes, okay? I really don't know till I do it. So I have no script, I have nothing going on, and I have no clue what I'm going to say. How exciting is that? So thank you for joining me for this time of football ramblings. Maybe that's what I'll call the videos, football ramblings. Tell me what you think. Leave a message in the description, in the comments, and we'll go from there. But anyway, so let's get to the basis of it. Some of the key additions to the Browns, if you look at their videos, you look at how they do, Martin Emerson and Winfred Peffrey. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Off the top of my head. But I think both of those guys are going to be key additions to this defense. Now, are they going to be key additions to the defense right away? I don't think so. Martin Emerson, I think, will be learning how to start off being a backup, but he's going to be taking over, and I think it's going to happen quick. For one, injury plague cap has hit us quite hard in the cornerbacks room. As much as I like Denzel Ward, Ohio State baby, yay! As much as I like Ward, I can see Emerson coming in and playing. He has the depth and arm length and speed and depth that you want in a cornerback. The skills that you want in a cornerback. And especially a press coverage cornerback. He is big, he's strong, he's lanky, and he's able to hit and run with the best of them. He can play multiple positions in the cornerback field. He's a really good addition. When he was in college, he did a lot of shutdown. Bad numbers, but nobody wanted to throw his way. That's what kind of player he is. And I think Ward's kind of the same thing too, where you really don't want to run it that way. Now, the NFL does have the kind of players that are able to play against that. But I think with Emerson, with the quarterbacks we got, and not just Emerson, but with Emerson, Ward, when they're healthy, Williams and Delpit, all of them are able to be one of the top-notch quarterbacks in the league. Now, are they going to be that this year? It depends how much on the field they are, because they are all prone with injuries except for Emerson. And I think that's really where Emerson's strength is going to be, is the fact that he can stay healthy. And I can see Emerson being a third-round steal, because he is able to stay healthy. Watch me work those words now really early. But he is a really versatile shutdown corner. And it is bright, and I even have my thing down. Woo, I can't see it. So that's my first thought. Going on to Winfrey. For some reason, the one weakness Barry has as GM is the fact they're not looking at defensive tackle quite the way they have looked at almost every other position. We have shut down defensive ends. We have killer linebackers. We have an explosive defensive backfield. Second level is going to be like no other team in the league. I think we have one of the best second levels in the league. And our backups to the cornerbacks are solid also. Wow, that's bright. Man. And so we're good. The weakness we got in our game right now is defensive tackle. We just don't have big playmakers on the defensive middle of the line, and that's been a weakness for the Browns. Teams know this. They run it on the Browns more than any other team because of our front line. Now, they won't run it outside as much, but they run it up the middle because it takes the linebackers to stop them, or the defensive backs. Winfrey is going to help. Now, he's not the only piece we need. I can see us picking up another one in the draft next year. We also got Taglio, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. And we also got Jordan Elliott. Those two guys are probably the premier starters for this year. Now, they've had some growing pains, and they've shown traces of being good, but they are not good. And Winfrey, I think, is going to have a little bit of Perrion Winfrey, that's the name. But he's going to have some growing problems too because he's not NFL able. Now, Elliott is a capable player that has always shown in college that he was a dominant force and could play with his athletic skill. In the NFL, everybody has athletic skill, so that's been Elliott's weakness, is the fact that he's trying to use his athletic ability over everything else, and he needs to learn technique, he needs to learn how to do other stuff. And I think if he can incorporate all of it, he'll be all right. But the problem is he hasn't done that. He's trying to rely on his athletic skill alone, and that just does not work in the NFL. Now, can I see the Browns picking up some defensive tackles in free agency? Honestly, I sure hope so. And there's been several former Browns that are on the list. Richardson being one. I don't think he was as good as advertised, but I think he was a decent player. He was able to stop the run. And there's some, Ndamukong Suh, I don't want to see him on the team. I think he'd be more trouble than what it's worth. But on the other side of it, defensively, I think he would be a beast. He is a beast. He's on the backside. A one-year contract to bring him in just for 1 year, I think would be a good thing. If he stays out of trouble and doesn't do something stupid, then I can see Suh coming. But I don't think he's going to. I think he wants a championship now, and I don't know if Watson doesn't play, which is a possibility. I don't think he's going to be sold to come. But our defensive tackle is a weakness. I can see us being good on the defensive front, but our defensive tackle up the middle is going to be our weakness. I'm just not sold on the guys we got, and I'll be honest with you. But I do like Winfrey. I like the attitude he brings in. I like the aggressiveness. I like his determination. And I think he is going to be a real late round steal. He was a fourth rounder. Fifth rounder? Fourth rounder. Emerson was third. Winfrey was fourth. And there was another guy in between. Maybe I got that backwards. I don't know. But I know Winfrey has made an impact just from his mic skills. Now I sound like I'm wrestling. But Winfrey has made an impact, and I really can see him being starter by mid-season maybe. But I still think he's going to have a lot of growing pains. And to be honest with you, I think, once he gets accumulated, once he gets trained, once he's learned some techniques that you need, I can see him very easily being the number one starter on the defensive line, as far as in the middle. And I would not be surprised if on occasion the Browns pick up a 3-4 front just to mix it up, and Winfrey being the middle. Now, is he able to be a 3-4 player? No, I don't think he is. But I think he's going to be the best one we have on the line. In all honesty, I think he's going to be the best one we have up the middle because I really think he's going to be a late round steal. He should have been an early third rounder, in my opinion. But because his defensive tackle is not that deep this year, nobody was really concentrating on defensive tackle as much in the draft. It's one of those years the defensive tackle is just not that strong in the draft. So I think the Browns got 2 steals in Emerson and Winfrey. And I think Perrion Winfrey is going to be the starter in the middle of the line because I just don't see Elliott keeping it. We got a couple guys in the backup that are still up and coming. But again, I'm not sold on them. Our defensive line, like most people, is probably our weakest point. Our cornerback is probably our strongest. I mean, just look at the depth we got. Williams, Greedy Williams, when he's healthy, showed that he's really good. Grant Delpit showed why we picked him where we did. Denzel Ward has been nonstop proving it, and the contract shows it. But the problem is, all of them have problems staying healthy. Yes, I'm tired. Plus, we got A.J. Carey and I forget who the other guy is. But even A.J. Carey has proved that he can play. So, I think our running back room and our cornerback room is our biggest strengths. And don't get me on the linemen. I think our line is exceptionally good in the NFL too, which is rare for the Browns, because how long has it been before we actually got a line? We had times where we was trying to concentrate on it, but it just failed. And this is one of those times where it's not. Now, Conklin is a question mark because it's hard to come back from that kind of injury. But I can see him doing it real easy because Conklin is that good. But again, he needs to be healthy. And it's hard to come back from that kind of injury in the NFL, especially being a lineman. The kind of tear he had in his knee is not the kind that's going to let you have longevity in an NFL. And he's going to have a lot of problems when he gets older. But anyway, that's just some thoughts I've got. I really want to concentrate on those two guys because I think they were draft steals and they're going to be exceptionally good. I'm just really excited for both of them. I think those are two guys that are going to make a huge impact in the backfield. And if you really want to get into it, that's who it was. David Bell was a number 2 pick. I knew there was one between them. But I think all three of them are going to be very, very solid players. David Bell's not going to be a steal, but I think he still is going to make a huge impact. I think he's going to be the number 3 guy eventually, taking over, and eventually probably taking over Landry's spot. Not as the number 1 receiver, but as a go-to guy, because he just doesn't drop balls. I loved Landry. Landry was probably a great pick for the Browns. And just like everybody else, I hate to see him go, but it's business. I think Landry was also hurt that the Beckham left, and I think that was felt too. And the price tag was just too high. David Bell gives you Landry, not the leadership, but he gives you Landry in every other way without the price tag. So we still have Landry, just not in the locker room leader yet. Amari Cooper's taking that role, and he's going to... I liked Cooper. I hated the Cowboys got him because I really wanted him. But now we got him, so I'm excited to see what happens. So anyway, Emerson and Winfrey, awesome pickups. Give me your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you later, guys. You have a good one.